Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode 3 in 52 from 52, where every week I go on a landscape photography trip somewhere around Ireland based on your suggestions. This week it was suggested by Graham on YouTube that I do something urban or street photography. I haven't really traditionally done much street photography or urban photography, but it got me thinking. It reminded me of a shot that I've been looking to get for a long time. So what I'm going to be doing today, instead of focusing on one street, is I'm going to be focusing on all of the streets. This week we're shooting the landscape of Dublin. I'm after finding a beautiful little open area where I have a great view of the city. It looks absolutely stunning. Just as I was setting up here, a barn owl just flew right out in front of me, really slowly, just on the slight breeze that's here now at the moment. And I suppose he was scoping me out. He probably doesn't see the likes of this here too often, but we didn't interfere with each other. He went about his business, and I'm going to go about getting a couple of shots. Now, there is a little bit of a breeze after picking up, and I'm actually happy enough about that because it was very still. And the problem is when it's really still in areas like this where there's lots of forest at night, the lens tends to fog over really easily. But the little tiny breeze, you can kind of probably see the tree here just moving around a tiny bit beside me. That little tiny bit of a breeze should be enough just to keep my lenses from fogging up, which is really good, because I want to get some nice time lapses now over the city. Now the thing is, it's a Tuesday night, there's not a whole lot happening. It actually looks really still down there, which is beautiful, and it's lovely and serene, but it would have been nice to have a bit more movement going on. Certainly this would have been a great one for a Saturday night, but I'm here now, so I'm going to get some time lapses of the city, and I'm just going to set up the 6D as well. I want to get a nice panoramic shot with the 24-105, really wide panoramic shot of the entire city, which I'm hoping to be really nice. It'll be a tough stitch, but that's not a problem, we'll sort that out. So I'm going to get set up with my 6D first. I want to get that shot in the bag because I'm here for the shot. Time lapses, they're great, we like time lapses, but I want to get that shot. You can't hang a time lapse on the wall. Well, you know what I mean. So what I'm going to do is set up that 6D, and yeah, we'll try to get that picture in the bag. So sometimes when you go on these location shoots, you can be so focused on just getting the picture, you know, getting all the content and everything, that you forget to kind of stop and admire what you're shooting. And sometimes that's because, you know, it's a fleeting moment. You're getting that light, that little bit of, you know, one moment that you've been, you know, hoping for to turn up, like the 12 pins, the first video I done, where, you know, there was just a little tiny window of light appeared over the whole day, and that's what I was waiting for. But the great thing about this scene is the lights over Dublin at the moment now, they're staying the same, they're not changing, so it's great. I have a moment just to kind of, before I get stuck in and get all set up, just to kind of soak it in and just kind of look at just how beautiful it is, because it is absolutely beautiful. So after setting up the 6D, and it took a little while for me to get the tripod nice and level, and it needs to be really level because I'm going to be swinging the camera around and taking a really nice panoramic shot. Now the reason it took me a while to get level was because I'm standing on an earth bank at the side of a forestry trail. I'm in a Coillte forest, and it's just crumbling underfoot, it's just falling apart, and it was an absolute nightmare to get this all set up and just really nice and level. So while I have that, I want to get this shot, get a really nice panoramic shot, And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some nice time lapses. So I'm going to get stuck in, get this shot first, and we'll see how it looks. Perfect, so that's really nice and sharp. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep shooting these. I'm going to swing the camera around. I'm working off a 10-second exposure, an aperture of f6.3 and at ISO 100. I want this to be a really nice, clean, sharp image. And there is a lot of mist kind of in the scene, particularly like over the sea. There's just a fog hanging over. It looks absolutely beautiful. And there's a nice fog sitting over the Phoenix Park as well. Everything else in it is quite nice and sharp. I'm not up as high as I suppose I'd like to be, so I'm looking kind of into Dublin more than I'm looking onto Dublin, but it still looks absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to keep shooting this, and then I'm going to set up for a time lapse and get some really nice time lapses hopefully as well. There's a boat just after leaving Dublin port, so I want to get set up for a time lapse really quickly and grab that. I'm just admiring the thing. It's beautiful. The city's gorgeous. Better get myself set up. I say it's an absolutely gorgeous night up here, and what I've done is I've come up a little bit higher again, and the view has just got even better. It's absolutely beautiful. See Dublin just sitting there behind me, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Now what I'm doing is I'm running time lapse just slightly up the hill from where I am now at the moment. I spotted a tree that was just being sidelit absolutely beautifully by the moon, which is kind of making its way back around now towards Dublin, which I'm hoping might give some interesting light, because the light off the moon is a much bluer colour than this. You can see this golden hue that's coming off of Dublin now at the moment. The colour temperature of light that's coming off the moon is just much cooler. So hopefully there'll be an interesting play with that. I done a time-lapse video last night just at home, and you can see how different the street lamps are from the light of the moon. Now if you were planning on doing your own astrophotography trip or a nighttime trip where you're looking to do long exposures, you're going to need to make sure that you have a good steady tripod. That's really important. If you don't have a steady tripod, the slightest bit of wind can give you camera shake, because when you're doing long exposures, any bit of shake at all is going to result in really poor images. Today with me I have 3 tripods. I have a really sturdy tripod which you're on now at the moment. Quite a sturdy tripod which my 100D is on at the moment, doing a time lapse just up the hill from where I am. You might be able to pick up a bit of beeping as that's beeping away doing a time lapse. And then I have a pretty flimsy tripod which my light is on now at the moment. If you watch my video of Glendalough last week, you'll see how bad things are. We're in the dark when you're trying to shoot and you have no lights except for the light on your phone blinding you. So I learned my lesson last week and I brought a light with me this week. I have to say, I'm finding it absolutely fantastic. I'll put a link to the light that I'm using in the description below, but it's absolutely brilliant. It's massively overkill. So what I've done is I've ordered a much smaller version of the same, and hopefully that should do the job, because I have this on currently on the moment at 1% of 100, and it does 2 sets of those lights. So I have it on 0.5% of its total illumination now at the moment, and it is quite bright. So I have to say it's very, very good. But if you are gonna do your own nighttime photography, your own long exposures, like I said, you're gonna need a tripod. The best thing you can do as well is also use a remote timer, or just the timer on your camera that's built in. Nearly all modern cameras have a timer built into them, and it could be a 2-second timer or a 10-second timer or whatever timer you have. It doesn't matter, as long as it gives you an opportunity to press the button on the camera, the shutter button, to take the picture, and then just a second for any shake that you've done with the camera to just disappear, and you get a really nice sharp picture for your long exposure. I mentioned earlier on that if there's no wind, sometimes you can get a bit of fog and mist on your lens. Now, if you're in the desert or somewhere really nice and dry, that's not a problem. But somewhere here like Ireland, where it's always wet, that is going to be a problem. So you're going to have to keep an eye on that. I've seen some really interesting videos where people have created little small fan units where they've got the fans from PCs and a small little battery, and they've just connected it to the tripod, and they say that it results in no extra shake whatsoever. It's not noticeable in any of the pictures, which is a really good idea for when this does happen. Something I might try myself in the future. But luckily enough tonight, the wind has started to die down just a small bit, and some of my gear is getting damp. But so far, so good with the cameras. There has been no mist or fogging on the lenses as yet, so I'm really happy about that. Hopefully it stays like that. So I've been sitting here doing some time lapses, just exploring around, and I turned around and there's some horrible clouds coming over from the sea, from the east, just over the hills here behind me. I can't believe it. They're gonna ruin everything, and the forecast was for it to stay clear. It's not happening. So everything is fogging up. Everything is getting damp. That bit of cloud cover that's coming over, just the elevation I'm at, surrounded by all these trees and vegetation. The breeze is just not doing enough. It's just a bit too calm. Everything is just getting soaking wet. All my kit is just destroyed. A little bit better. I'll have to get the proper cloth out. But basically, that's it. That's what I mean about if you have a really still night, or you put a lens hood on and the breeze can't get at your camera, you're gonna get a bit of mist on it. So be careful when you're doing your time lapses. Keep an eye on those lenses. Make sure they don't go all misty. It's happening again. I'm having an absolute disaster. Everything is fogging up. Everything is absolutely soaking wet. I don't know if you can see this. All my kit, everything is just getting soaked. There's a bit of a mist after coming over. That time lapse, forget about it. It's not happening. The mist, the camera got soaking wet. All my gear is getting drenched. I'm up high. There is vegetation all around me. I'm surrounded by forests. The bit of mist that came over and the little bit of cloud cover, the breeze has died down almost to nothing, so it's all working against me. Typical. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. I don't think I'm gonna get anything better than what I've got already. I'm really happy with one of the pictures I got of the tree. I got some nice pictures down below as well, but I don't see much else happening, unfortunately, tonight. And what time is it now? It's just a bit after, I don't know if you can see it, 2 a.m. And it's getting cold. It's getting really cold as well. So I don't mind having more gear and all, but there's no point in sitting around in the cold if I'm not gonna get another picture. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pack up and gonna head home, because I'm just really happy with how the evening went. It was a great evening. The city looks absolutely stunning down there. The moon isn't gonna do much else. It's starting to set, and I'm not gonna get any more pictures with that, so there's no point in waiting around to see what I can get on that side either. I'm happy with how things have gone. It's It's always a challenge kind of shooting in an urban condition at night because there's so much glare and there's so much mist. And essentially what I've been doing tonight is shooting light pollution. But I suppose as light pollution goes, it's pretty. So yeah, no, I'm happy. It was a good night. So I'm just gonna get all my gear together. I'm gonna get myself sorted. I'm gonna head home. I'm gonna get a cup of tea. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, warm the old bones. So back to the car. Time to get home. Okay, so I am back at the car, and this light, what is it called? It's a Young Nuo Digital YN600L. Don't know if you can see that. Anyway, I'll put up a link to it in the description. Now I use this in the studio for doing sometimes I use it as a modeling light, sometimes I use it for product photography, and I use it for a bit of video in the studio. I've never brought it out with me anywhere. It's just the light was so bad last week at Glendalough, so I thought I'd bring it with me. I have this currently on 1% and I've only got one battery in. The second battery lights up a whole second set of LEDs as daylight bands and tungsten bands, kind of roughly. And I'll put a bit of information about it in the description, but it is awesome. So I just want to do a quick demonstration of just how bright it is, because I've walked back with this with one battery and 1%. I could see everything everywhere. It's awesome. So I'm just going to put it down and show you it here in the car park. Okay, so this is currently at 1%. Now 10%, 20%, 35, 50, 75, 90, 100. So you can see, well, 99 doesn't go to 100. And there's a whole second battery that you can add on, and it'll just give double this light off. So I was really impressed with just how bright it is. I don't know, we'll see if it comes out in the video here, because I'm on the GoPro, but yeah, like, I mean, as torches go, it was probably overkill, but whoa, serious light. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what the little one can do, but that'll be here in a few weeks. But yeah, I just want to do a quick demo of how good this light is, even only on, whoa, half power. Whew, I'm a bit out of breath.